Hello there, and then welcome to Hub Beyond Numbers, where we learn maths the easy. I do hope you are doing well. Now, in this video, we are looking at how to construct a circumscribed circle, which is sometimes called a circumcircle, right? So, how do we construct a circumcircle? What is a circumcircle, first of all? That is a circle that is passing through all the three vertices of a triangle. A circle passing through all the three vertices of a triangle. So if you construct this circle, it will pass through all these vertices. All right. Now, to do that, let's construct a triangle. So you can construct any triangle of your choice with any dimension. Mine here is too big, so I'm just going to reduce it so that my circle can go on my screen over here, else it might not be able to fit over here. So this is my circle I have over here. How do we construct this circumcircle? So let's name the vertices of this triangle we have over here. So I'm going to name this vertex my x. I have x over here, y over here, and then my z over here, right? So with these vertices now, if you want to construct this circumscribed circle, we need to bisect any of these two sides. So you can bisect xz or zy or xy. Any of them is fine. And by now, I do hope you know how to bisect lines, right? So to bisect these, I would choose to bisect xy and then zy. Right? You can also use any of the tools to confirm that we can do it anyhow. So I'll stand at x. Standing at x, I'm going to open my compass, the suitable radius, and draw an arc above and then an arc also below, right? So with that done, I'll now take my compass and then stand at this side as well, and then draw an arc such that it bisects or it touches the initial arc I have drawn. So this is it over here. See? Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a line through this arc I have drawn. That is, I'm bisecting x, y, right? So let's quickly do that. So there's my line here, bisecting x, y. Exactly, right? Now, we will do the same also for these yz. We'll do the same for yz as well. So we bisect the line yz. So I'll take my compass, stand or pin at what? Z. So compass pin at Z. You now draw your arc. One here, and then the other over here. Then with the same radius, we stand at what? Y. Now I hope you do see what is happening. My initial arc over here wasn't long enough. So I'm going to undo all that and then draw a longer arc so that it would be able to fit. Right? So I'm drawing this arc here and then this arc also over here. You see? Then with the same radius, I now stand over here and then draw another arc, making sure it bisects the initial one I drew. So that will be this and then this, right? So with that done, and I know what I need, I'll definitely clean the excess so that my work wouldn't be that messy. I'll just clean all these excess that I don't need. And I now draw my straight line through my point of intersection. Use a ruler for that. So this here is my straight line. Now, we need to take note of this point over here. All right? We take note of this point. And we label it as O. You see? Now, O here is what we call the circumcenter. O here is what we call the circumcenter. And that will be where we are going to pin to draw our circle. So take note of what I'm going to do. I'll take my compass pin and put it at O, right? Then now at O, I make sure I open my compass to any of the vertices. Are you seeing what is happening here? So I open my compass to any of the vertices. You see? So if it is this, fine. Now, if you open your compass to any of the vertices, you can now draw your what? Your circle. So I'm going to draw my circle. Hope you do see that. Let me use a lighter pencil. So I'm going to draw my circle. You see? And as you can see, my circle touches all the vertices of my triangle. And that is what we call the circumscribed what? Circle. How did we do it once again? If you have your triangle, right? We have our triangle. We bisect one of the sides of the triangle. Sorry, we bisect two of the sides of the triangles, right? And we look for where these two bisectors meet, which we call the circumcenter. Now, with this circumcenter, we put our compass pin over there, open the compass to any of the ends of the what? Triangle, and draw your circle. And there you have it, the circumscribed circle with the center being the circumcenter will be drawn as you see over here, right? Okay, so if you don't understand anything, you can always do what? Slow down or just rewind and watch again. Now, it is important to note that this circle over here is also a locus. It is a locus because it is equidistant, or it touches all these 3 points. So let's write that down, that it is a locus. And we say it is a locus of a point equidistant from 3 fixed points. Locus of a point equidistant from what? 3 fixed points. So this is the point here. There is equidistance from all of these points, right? Okay. Now, the next item is looking at how to construct an inscribed circle. So as circumscribed circle, meaning you are constructing a circle around the triangle. An inscribed circle is you constructing the circle to touch these 3 lines. 1, 2, 3. This time around is these 3 lines, right? So I would like you to pay close attention as this one is different from the previous one. So to construct an inscribed circle, let's first of all look at what an inscribed circle is. An inscribed circle is a tangent to all the 3 sides of a triangle. It is a center in it. Its center is the in center, right? Okay. So to draw this kind of circle, we said we are going to bisect any of the 2 angles. Once again, let's let this be our x, y, and then z. And we want to draw a circle inside here, right? So we want to bisect this angle here and then this angle here. You can take any of the 2 angles, but I am taking this angle and then this angle, right? So how do you bisect these angles? We have done all that in our previous videos, and if you are unsure about it, you can always check the playlist and then revisit that as well. So since we want to bisect this, we first of all need our arc. So I'm going to draw an arc over here. And I think we would need another arc over here. So I'm just going to use the same thing to get my arc over here. So now that I have these arcs, I'm then going to stand just as how we bisect our angle. So I'm going to stand at one of these ends and draw another arc over here. Stand at one of these ends and draw another arc to touch the initial arc I have drawn. You see? Then I repeat the same step over here. I'll stand at this end here, draw an arc, and also stand at this end here, and also draw another arc. Now with these drawn, I'll draw my line through their point of intersection, right? So you take your ruler and draw a straight line from point X through the point of intersection of the arcs you have drawn. And that is the bisector of the angle. You do the same also through point Y, through this point of intersection, and make sure it touches this initial bisector you drew over here, right? Okay. You would always have to make sure you check for accuracy, right? So as usual, I would always want my work to be neat. So I'm going to clean all these excesses so that it doesn't make my work so clumsy, right? So with this done, I take note of this point over here, right? Now this point here is what we call the in center. The in center. Remember that of the circle is what? The circumcenter. But this here is the in center. So I'm going to label that as O. Now standing at my O, I'm going to draw a perpendicular line. You remember in our initial videos, we looked at how to draw a perpendicular line from a point. You see, this is where we are going to apply that. So we want to draw a perpendicular line from this point to meet XY. And how do we do that? So we take our compass and then we pin at what? O. So compass pin at O. You open your compass to a suitable radius and get two arcs. You see? So we get two arcs. I'll get this arc over here and then this one also over here. And they would help me to get my perpendicular line. Then now with these 2 points I have gotten, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stand on one of them and open my compass to draw an arc below. You see? And then with that same radius, you stand here, draw an arc below. With that same radius, you stand here as well and draw another arc below. Right? Okay. So with that done, you are going to draw a straight line through your in center towards this point of intersection of the two arcs, right? So I'm going to draw this straight line here from my in center. Oh, you do that with a ruler through this point over here, right? And if you realize that if you have to measure, it will give you what? 90 degrees exactly. You see, it passes through my 90 degrees. Yeah. You see, it's on the 90 degrees. Yes. So this is really a perpendicular. Now this over here is what from O, from the in center to this point over here. That is what is going to be your radius you are going to use to draw your circle, right? So what we now do is we take our compass, pin at O, right, this O. Then open the compass to what it touches line what? XY. So let's open the compass for it to touch that. You see what I'm doing? You see? Okay. We then draw our circle nicely. Right? So this here is going to be my circle. Right? And that is what we call the in circle. If I'm to take this away, you can see that the circle has been drawn inside the triangle. Right? So this is what we call the in circle or the inscribed circle. Right? And look at how different that is from the what? The circumscribed circle. The circumscribed circle has it around the triangle, but the in circle is inside the triangle, right? So this is how far this video is gonna go. Now, in our subsequent video, since we've done the necessary basics of all the construction we need to know in this level. We are then going to look at some questions, some likely examination questions, and how to solve them. So see you in our next video, and then stay safe.